Deep Camp. This is an interesting horror movie playing in limited release in theaters. I got a chance to check it out, and this was pretty cool. I think the more interesting horror movie I wanted to see this week was In a Violent Nature, but unfortunately, my theater is not playing it. There's another theater in town that's playing it, but I want to see if we get it this weekend, and if we don't, I guess I'll just miss it. I don't know. Or check it out at the other theater. I'm not really sure. I'll have to figure it out. I'm sure I'll see that movie at some point and talk about it with you guys. But this one was interesting because, of course, both of those movies are very interesting in the sense that they are both trying to capture the Friday the 13th aesthetic. And I think this movie is pretty much a Friday the 13th movie, except without any of the sex. It's basically this movie is set at this deer camp, and you have a lot of character. I don't know if it's essentially capturing a Friday the 13th aesthetic or more just an 80s horror movie aesthetic, like Cabin in the Woods type movie with some Friday the 13th iconography, because this movie is set in 1986, as the title would imply. But what's funny is there's a lot of the way the camera is put together, the way the grain is and stuff like this. It's very clearly going for that 80s horror movie look to it, and it really does a great job, I think, of capturing that in the film. I thought that was really cool, and I think a lot of that was actually pretty well done. I was pretty shocked by actually how well done it was. And I think that's one big plus to this movie, is how well done that is. This movie had a very minuscule budget, but you wouldn't even tell by it because the way it's put together. I mean, you can tell it's low budget, and they had some workarounds, but the workarounds are very clever, so you would think that the budget might even be more than it actually is. I was pretty shocked by that. I thought it was pretty cool what they were able to do with that. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely some cliches and some shots that are pretty much lifted from other horror movies. I mean, the shot on the lake, I'm like, yep, that's Friday the 13th. But I think that's fine, because they're clearly having fun and with an irreverence to that. And I think that's cool, and I liked all that. I don't know, I had some fun with this movie. I thought it was a pretty fun horror movie that if you like Friday the 13th movies, check this one out. You're going to have a great time with this one. I think there's a lot of fun to be had with this one, and I thought it was a very well done horror movie, honestly, for what it was going for. I mean, it's not going to win any awards. It's not, one of the best horror movies of the year, but it is definitely a movie that I could say I enjoyed it, and I would recommend to you if you like Friday the 13th type homages and things like that, and 80s horror homages. I'm still interested in checking out In a Violent Nature. We'll see how that goes, but this one is an interesting little film that no one's talking about, unfortunately. I tried to look up some reviews, see what people were saying about this one, and I didn't find anything, and which is interesting because it actually has some pretty high review scores, though that's probably because just not a lot of people have watched this one, unfortunately.